Today we are doing lesson 11.3, build three-dimensional shapes. The essential question is, how can you build a rectangular prism? Listen and draw. Circle the shapes with curved surfaces. Draw an X on the shapes with flat surfaces. Well, if I look at this, I can see that it has a curved surface. So I'm going to circle that. This one does not have a curved surface. This one does not have a curved surface, but this one does. And this one does. That means that I am going to put an X on this because these are all flat surfaces and these are flat surfaces. Name the shapes you drew an X on and describe how they are different. This one is a rectangular prism and this one is a cube. They do both have flat surfaces, but they are different because a cube has all squares for its flat surfaces. A rectangular prism does not. It does have two squares, but the others are rectangles. Turn your paper over to page 718. Model and draw. We're going to build this rectangular prism using 12 unit cubes. So we have to have a group of 3, and then a group of 3, just like we see on the top. 3 here and 3 here. And then I can see that there are 2 layers, so I need to do that again. Group of 3 and a group of 3. And when I do that, when I look at the top, I can see that there are 2 columns and there are 3 in each column. And when I look at the front, you can see that there are 2 columns and there are 2 in each column. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be looking at the front and the top views. Share and show says to build a rectangular prism with a given number of unit cubes and shade to show the top and the front views. So this one tells us to use 9 cubes. So I'm going to take a group of 3 and do that. Another group of 3 makes 6. Now this last group of 3 makes 9. So if I look at my top view, just looking right down on it, I have 3 columns and I have 3 in each one. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. 3 more, 3 more. Now the front view, when I flip it, I have just 3 cubes that I can see. So 1, 2, 3. Number 2 tells us to do 16 cubes. So I'm going to make a group of 4. Another group of 4. So 4 and 4 is 8. Another group of 4. I'm going to put that on the top. That's 12. And then another group of 4 to make 16. So if I look down at the top, I have a row of 4 and a row of 4. So I'm just going to shade those in. And if I look at the front view, I have exactly the same thing. A row of 4 and another row of 4. Okay, I'm going to take that paper and we go to page 719 on your own. It says to build a rectangular prism with a given number of unit cubes, shade to show the top and front views. This is exactly what we just did on the other page, so you need 24 cubes so that you can build this rectangular prism You can't have any more than 4 in a row. So use all of your cubes, your 24 cubes, and go ahead and shade this in to show the top view and the front view. Number 4, the top, side, and front views of a rectangular prism are shown. Build the prism. How many unit cubes are used to build the solid? So this is the top view. This one you can see that you can have a row of 5. So you need to make the top look like this, the front looks like this, and the side looks like this. Then you need to count how many cubes you used. I'm going to give you a hint and tell you if you just count these boxes that are shaded in, that will not give you the correct answer. So you do need to build it with your cubes so that you can count them and see how many you've used. Number 5 says to analyze. Jen uses 18 unit cubes to build a rectangular prism. The top and front views are shown. So you need to make a top view like this. Then you can see with the front view that you have 2 of those. You have to do that 2 times. And then look at the side and see what the side view would look like and shade those in. Show me what the side view would look like. And then turn your paper over. We're on problem solving. It says solve, write, or draw to explain. Tomas built this rectangular prism. How many cubes did he use? So you can build this with cubes to figure that out, or you could use repeated addition to solve this. You can see how many cubes are used here in this top layer. You can count those. And then we see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 layers and they are all the same. You can write a repeated addition number sentence to add and figure out how many unit cubes are in that rectangular prism. Number 7, Theo builds the first layer of a rectangular prism using 4 unit cubes. So he uses 4 unit cubes like this. He adds 3 more layers of 4 unit cubes each. How many unit cubes does he use for the prism? So he has this first layer and then he does this 3 more times. Again, you can use repeated addition to figure out how many cubes he uses and write it on that line. Make yourself a line and write it there. Number 8, Tyler built this rectangular prism using unit cubes. Then he took it apart and used all of the cubes to build 2 new prisms. Fill in the bubble next to the 2 prisms he built. I'm going to give you a hint and tell you that you need to figure out how many cubes he uses here to make his first rectangular prism. You can see how many are in that top layer. You can count those. The same numbers in the second layer and the same numbers in the third layer. So you need to do a repeated addition sentence to be able to find out how many are in this whole thing. Once you know that, then you can go down here and do the same thing for this one and this one and this one to find out how many they use to make those prisms. Then you need to find out which 2 you can put together to get the same number as this, because he uses all of these cubes to make 2 of these. Which 2 does he make? When you have completed that, your assignment is done.